So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Kick it.
Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Bet, let's do it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the LaTangela Show podcast. You know, it does my heart well to have this time together. Well, we'll chit about this and we'll chat about that. And you never know who's going to be in the hot seat or on the tan line, but I've got questions that need answers. And today we got my girl, Dr. Jen Caldwell. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So far, so good. Inching our way through the work week. Life is lifing, and I'm hanging out with the world's greatest today. So things are okay.
That was cute. I like that.
Well, you are definitely doing this with style and grace. As the assistant professor of Pennington Biomedical and the director of public health genomics lab, all of that has a lot with it. So tell me a little bit about your position and what comes across your desk on a day-to-day.
So, as an assistant professor, a lot of times people think that you're teaching all day, but Pennington is a non-teaching institution. And so everyone here does research. What we do tends to lean towards metabolic health, understanding obesity. My lab is a little bit different. I do public health genomics, which means I'm looking at how the population is responding to certain health diseases. I'm looking at it from a genetics lens. I look at it from an anthropological lens, and then I include public health. So I think about things like access to care, walkability. Do you live in a rural setting? What types of food are you eating? And then I also look at the diseases. Is it in your family? Is it in your community? Is it, again, cultural? Are we encouraging bad health behavior? So it's a combination of things that I do on a daily basis, from grant writing to speaking engagements, community health seminars, and then research too. So.
Well, Dr. Jen, I have to say that pulling back the veil and having conversations like this, it really does my heart well, because often if we were to talk about someone that's sitting in the office doing research and coming up with the answers to a lot of questions that we may think about or things that may impact us day to day, you're not the typical professor or researcher that would come to mind. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
And
not.
knowing that representation truly matters and we're seeing it in real time, I applaud you for that, because you are on the forefront of saying, this is what we're doing. I understand this, and this is why it's so important that you get the message out to those who are being researched, because we're all a part of some type of research one way or the other.
Life is definitely a big experiment.
Yeah, tell me about it. And this adventurous ride, it gets chaotic at times. Now, when you're talking about how we react to certain things, right? And when you were talking about genomics and that tidbit, it was so educational. Just the walkability, the things that we respond to, how our bodies respond to certain things. When it comes down to medication, you know, I do a lot of reading, and I often come across things that'll say things like, maybe this medicine doesn't work best for this group of people because they weren't a part of the research. So genetically, it doesn't work as well or the same as those who were tested and researched. But if we're not a part of the conversation beforehand, it's kind of hard for us to be a part of the fight, right?
Oh, for sure. For sure. We can't be a part of the fight if we're not a part of the conversation. And so my job deals with that as well. My job is to increase health literacy. And that is a fancy word for your understanding of what your doctor is telling you. You know, your understanding of what your pharmacist is telling you. And with the knowledge that sometimes we are not included in that process. So as you were stating, when we're putting together research, one big important place for advocacy for me is, do we have Black and brown people at the table? Are they being included in the co-design of the research? Are they being included as participants of the research? Do they, are we making sure people have stipends for their participation? Are we making sure that maybe we don't need to have the research always being set up at 8 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning. Maybe we can do some things after hours so that people don't have to leave work, right? I've learned that that can be a barrier to access as well. But just so we can understand how important you are and how important your community is, I try to give this kind of caveat or antidote. When a girl child is born, she's born with all the eggs she will ever have, right? So that means that when you are in your mother's womb, the mother is impacting 2 generations.
Mhm.
The eggs are already there for 2 generations. So that's 2 generations of genetic material already there with the initial mother, not the baby, the initial mother.
Uh-huh.
So the way genetics works is your community, your lineage really does have an impact on you from birth. But I also like to tell people God kind of uses your genetics as a cheat code or a certain amount of grace, like that you're even born, because you can override certain systems and certain diseases with how you treat yourself and your health behavior. And so your culture really plays a big role in maintaining your health or bringing your health down, or
Mhm.
helping you to elevate and understanding how you can live a healthier life. So it's not always about the genes, it is also about your environment. And that's not for certain diseases like sickle cell. If you're born with sickle cell, you have it, right? Unless you
Right.
can get gene therapy from that. But in other circumstances, your culture really plays a role in how healthy you are. And so my job is to make the culture healthier.
And it's important to do that, especially when we're talking to families. You'll
Mhm.
get children that are little sponges. So if they're going to school and they're learning something about fresh veggies and fruits, they're coming home talking about fresh veggies and fruits. So it's important that we have that there for them instead of all of these candies and not giving them healthier options because they can't provide for themselves. And some of those things are the controllable factors, the
Right.
decisions that we make, right? Because it's hard. Life is full of decisions. And when you have the temptations and when the body wants what the body wants, and you know it's going to react one way or not, but you still want it, it's an
Yeah,
addiction, you
for
know?
sure.
And so when you're working with these different testings and different research efforts, do you ever come across a stigma of, especially in the Black community, of saying, I don't want to go in and be a test rat. I don't want to be a lab rat. I don't want to be a part of some study. I don't trust it. Like, what does that barrier look like while you're trying to educate others the importance of being a part of a research?
Oh, the barriers are wide and far, right? And for different reasons. So some of it is like, I remember Tuskegee, and to be honest with you, every community has a Tuskegee example. And that's something that I've learned along the way is that,
Yeah,
in Baltimore, you hear people say like, "Don't go near Hopkins because they used to snatch people up," or even Baltimore is the setting for the Henrietta Lack story, in which they took her cervical cells, and now we learned a lot about cervical cancer um, through that. But her family did not get paid until after the fact. So this was not a situation in which she was experimented on, but it was a situation in which her body was used for science without her consent and profited off of that use. So some people are at that stage, right? And they
uh,
are thinking about what they heard, what they read, what their family told them. And sometimes it's not even what they experienced, but what someone else has told them. So we're really good about that in the community. Other times it's been participating in science and not understanding the process. There are a lot of checks and balances that we have to do with science. And so some of it is for your good. So things like we have here an institutional review board, and that board makes sure that anything that I'm bringing to you is safe and that I'm doing it without harm. But that means that we have a process, and sometimes that process looks long. Okay.
right.
It looks tedious. It looks like sometimes you got to come to Pennington for certain things. And then other times I'm really flexible about coming into the community. One of my first study was a documentary, and we allow people to view it um,
Mhm.
completely virtual. So that way they didn't have to worry about leaving their home as long as they had good Wi-Fi. And it was kind of when you're able to view it style, as long as you complete it within these 5 weeks. And so that
Right.
type of flexibility allows people to like, okay, I can engage. I can do it from the comfort of my own home. Even my next study that we'll talk about later, we're doing it after 5 o'clock in the Scotlandville community. Um, You don't have to come to Pennington for anything. And so, and you get to do it with other people, right? With a group. So you're never going to be somewhere alone, right? So
Okay.
those are the types of things that I thought through and to say, how can we support people in getting over those stigmas? Because they're there for certain cultural reasons, certain experiences. And I think the doctor can be just scary, right? You know, you go to
Yeah.
you're nervous because what they gonna tell you, they telling you you're dying, you're diseased, you know,
Look, just coming in your office elevates the pressure. You know what I mean? It's like an
absolutely,
anxiety attack.
absolutely.
You didn't even know what was happening. And that's a real thing.
Exactly.
Like your
Yep.
body internalizes the uncertainties of whatever it is that you're walking in. And
Absolutely.
especially for us, and you know, you hear about us picking on men a lot, saying they don't want to go to the doctor, they don't book those appointments. Well, by the time they do, chances are they've been either masking or avoiding whatever it is that's been nagging them for so long. So what could have been something that was simple is now a little more complex. And
Yep.
yes, now that anticipation is still there, right? So when you're starting to break down the stigmas of telling families to get those tests done or annuals done, what does that look like for you to the average listener, the average viewer?
Yeah, I think one thing we learned about men in particular, one of the physicians in our documentary even talks about it, and he says men do better when their wives, girlfriends, or mothers come with them to the appointment, because we're going to be more honest about what they're eating, what they're doing, how they're feeling. You know, we're not going to say, well, everything's fine. And so that's one way that men can get more involved, is if they need like a little shield or support. You know, ask one of your female family members to come with you. Um, Again, the barriers are sometimes for research purposes. Sometimes we think the exclusion criteria for research is really high, and so it's not that we're trying to leave people out of research. Sometimes certain studies need to exclude certain diseases because we can't have it overlapping and confusing the data. And I think
Okay.
that can be off-putting too. Like if you're looking at a certain disease, but maybe you have type 2 diabetes and we say, oh, you can't participate. That may be because we're looking at insulin, right? And you have a type 2 diabetes problem, but I don't think science does a great job of communicating the limitations and the process. And so people just feel like, well, why would I participate in your study? Because I'm used to being excluded. So I think those
Right.
happen and they continue the stories of the stigma. Um, I think that sometimes people are in denial of certain diseases that they have, sad to say. Um,
Yeah.
or sometimes I think we also want to pray everything away, which I think prayer is right and just and needed in every, walk of life, but faith without work, okay, there's a second part.
Mhm. Yeah.
Second part. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
work could also be like, let's say you don't go to a traditional doctor, but have you tried a holistic doctor? Have you, talked to some doctor about herbs and things like that? I mean, I'm very open-minded to all of the facets in which you can live a healthier life. Maybe you started juicing more, or, maybe you're exercising. Like you can do so many things. But the answer is to never just do nothing. That's not the answer.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I know that you've even done some research as of how you can be better at conducting the research. And so
Mhm.
being better at conducting the research sometimes maybe doing it virtual, doing it in person, doing it on campus. And I know that now you're gearing up for yet another research. And you said that this one, we don't have to come on the campus. You're doing it to where we can do it as a group. We don't have to be in this by ourselves. I'm intrigued. I'm all in. What are we doing? Who is it for?
So this project is called Linking Gains, and it's about genetics and nutrition in Scotlandville. And so, I guess almost 2 years ago now, I was thinking about a project that involved understanding genetics and health behavior. And when I was in the Scotlandville area, I saw a lot of unique things like Dollar Generals, lack of
Mhm.
walkability, no grocery stores, the
And when you say no grocery stores, that technically classifies it as a food desert,
It is,
right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yes, it was a food desert, and food deserts that doesn't include Empire Wings, and it doesn't include Jack in the Box. Food desert mean can I get to fresh produce? And so sometimes you'll see Dollar Generals have like bananas and fruits, but that is so low in terms of the variety of fruits and vegetables that we can be eating and that we used to eat as a people. So that's what I mean by food desert. And I think the most shocking part was that, I work on the LSU side, and LSU has 2 grocery stores on campus. Southern University has no grocery store over the hump. They don't have any grocery stores anymore on the side of the railroad. And in that congressional district, it is a food desert.
Wow. And,
So
and you know what? Knowing that Southern University is the largest system, you know what I mean? It's like and we understand that, and we know how we should nurture the neighborhood, nurture the ability of those students being able to thrive in their day to day. Those are a lot of unanswered questions, right? Like if you know that they can get to a chicken wing, but not to a stalk of celery, the accountability factor has to come in somewhere when you're doing that type of research. And numbers don't lie. Women can lie all day, men can lie all day, but those numbers will not lie. And you see how many people, if we were to just talk about the students alone that they house on their campus or going to and from, that's way too many people to say are being denied access to fruits and vegetables and the things that they need to thrive and be healthy citizens, if that's what we're really aiming for, because that's what's on everybody's ballot when they're running for an office, right? I
Yep.
could be wrong, but I know I read that at least once, twice, 3 or 4,
That's what
5
you read.
times.
You read the paperwork. That's what they said
Okay,
they
I
wanted.
just, wow. And
There's
I do
a
have to
big
applaud because I've noticed the change when you said some of the Dollar Generals. Recently, throughout maybe the last year or two, you'll see that they swapped out having their clothes in certain sections, and they started adding produce and different things of that nature, and adding the coolers for that. And I noticed that, and I was thinking to myself, okay, kudos to them for making that change. But within that time that they were doing that, Dr. Caldwell, I still hadn't seen the grocery store come up in that
There
area either,
there
right?
is one. There is a Black-owned grocery store. I do not, forgive me because I don't know the name of it, but they're near the Scotlandville area. I still think that Scotlandville is considered a food desert, probably
Yes.
because of the amount of people. But there
Yeah.
is one
And,
smaller.
and you know what? And we need to find out who they are and put a mega horn to them and applaud them for that efforts, because
They're Black-owned.
it's
We
huge.
really should.
And
I
if
agree
and
with you.
if they're black owned and they're doing it on their own, surely these larger franchises should see the importance and say, you know what, we can't afford to turn our back on something that is so necessary. But yeah, oh, absolutely. That's a field trip. I'm gonna have to make that today.
You please make it. I mean, I think, back in the days, we used to really be I saw some on TikTok, agriculturalists, but we really used to take pride in farming and produce. And
Yeah.
it's more of, it's hard to do, it's hard to sustain, it's hard to get money, to do it. But small things like the Scotlandville Market, the Levitt Amp series that Byron Washington puts on, those things are small changes,
Yeah.
simple changes for the community.
And you know what? And I gotta give major props out to some of my friends, like Wild Wayne. He absolutely loves his garden. He had up something the other day that he had some little melons finally growing out, and he'll go in the backyard, play around, and get on the Instagram and show you all of his little tomatoes and the
Mhm.
cabbages. You got Four Vicks Farms. They're doing a lot. It's a family-owned business, and they have some of the best when it comes down to fresh produce, right? Locally owned and operated, and it started off as a hobby and a necessity of saying that we want to try something different. Farmer Jones, he'll be out and about doing some wonderful things and growing all of these vegetables and fruits and providing it in the community. And I look forward to seeing that. And my friends doing it encouraged me to at least say, Tan, did you add that cucumber to your diet today? Like that's accountability, and I don't have to look far off to people
Mhm.
that I don't know as an influencer. These are the people who are in my immediate circle.
Yep, yep. We
Peer
call them
pressure, Dr. Jen, peer pressure.
community health workers. That's what we call them, community health workers.
Yeah. What are we doing for this new research?
So again, it's called Link and Gain. We are going to be in the Scotlandville area, so you don't have to come to Pennington at all. Everything will take place in the Scotlandville area. So we'll be between the Jewel Newman Center and Greater Allen uh, Church on Scenic as well. Those will be our 2 locations. This is a 14-week program, really 16 weeks, but I'm gonna tell you how we get there. But don't be alarmed by the 14 weeks, right? Each
Uh-huh.
each group is will have to be there for one session a week. And the sessions will all start after 5 o'clock. So about 5:30 to 7, every session will start with physical training, physical activity. And then after that, we'll have different sessions. So some sessions will be like culturally conscious cooking, or maybe we'll have a visit from a dietitian. Then we'll also do some sessions on produce. We'll have some farmers come. The Muse farmers will bring some of their produce, so we could talk about things that we don't really eat, like eggplants, and you could take some home. We'll have sessions with doctors, some emotional wellness. It's kind of total body, mind, health, spirit, well-being. Like I said, we're gonna switch you out first, and then after that, you'll get the intervention, and then you could go home, and it'll be once a week per group. And so we're looking for 60 people. We have not met our numbers yet, so we need 60 people. We'll start you off with a genetic session, a genetic test, and you'll get a genetic counseling session. Now that will be virtual, the genetic counseling session, but you'll meet at the Jewel Newman Center for your baseline visit. And so your baseline visit was going to take your blood pressure, take your blood sugar, you'll do your genetics test, and then after that, we'll give you an assignment for either the Jewel Newman Center or Greater Allen, the church, and you'll go there either on Tuesday or Thursday once a week for the 14-week period. And we want to see how long you stick with the program. We want to see how you felt about your genetic counseling session. Did you like it? Did you learn something? Was it valuable to you? We're just really looking to see, do people lose weight with the program as well? Do they like the fact that it's not at Pennington? Do they like the fact they're doing it in a group setting? Like, what helps people to sustain being a part of something like this?
I love that. And how much is it for us to participate? Do we have to pay anything? Do we have to sign our lives away?
No, it's free. It's free.
Hey, something
It's
about
free.
the word free motivates me. Hey, that's all we need to know, Dr. Jen.
And you get money for it.
So,
We're going to give you compensation for your time. You'll get some money for it too.
what, girl? Listen, now you're talking. Well, how do we sign up for this?
So you can go to Google Pennington current trials, Lincoln Games, and scroll to the bottom and it'll say get started. I wish I had the appropriate URL. I should.
That's okay. You know what? You text it to me. I'm going to put it in the description
Yeah.
of this podcast to make sure that we're not missing any. And I know that you have 60 slots. Now, once we get to those 60 slots, don't worry about it. Dr. Caldwell is always working on something. She will definitely keep you in the loop. And I want you to think of this as an extension of your office. I know you have a lot that's going on, and this is a part of the platform that God is going to hold me responsible for. And I have to be responsible with the platform. It's more than just entertainment. They're not going to come to me for the same songs that they're hearing. They're not going to come to me for a party. They need to come to me for information that I can help assist in enhancing the lives that we live, right? And we all want to take care of ourselves. We want to take care of our loved ones. We want to be better versions of ourselves. So whenever you come up with this good stuff, girl, listen, pull up on me.
I sure will, because we have one more starting, let's say in 3 weeks. I know they're not.
Okay, 3
Hello.
weeks. Look, they're calling her for it right now. It's hard being Dr. Caldwell. We might as well just always call her on call. And I want you to log on and get all of the information, because this is going to be one of the programs that you cannot afford to miss. Now, I do want to find out more on the age range for this. So we'll see exactly how old do you have to be in order to sign up for this particular study.
They're looking for me. So you 18 and up. I'm glad you asked that because I didn't tell you. 18 and up. So it's great for college students. It's after class time. It's great for people that work. It's great for all age groups. 18 and up. That's all we ask.
Hey, that's enough for me. Now, I know you got more work to do, so I'm going to let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love you. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, Doc.
Thank you. I love you too, and I appreciate this platform and all that you're doing.
Thank you so much. Hey, it's the voice inside your speaker box, LaTangela Fay, here with Christian Community Theater. Let me tell you, they have something special on the way July 31st through August 3rd. Singing in the Rain, anyone? Are you ready? Let's go.
I mean, come see what's wrong with the way that I talk. I mean, am I dumb or something?
Oh wait, can you cut the sound down a little bit?